Yep. Gotcha. Spurs Arena in Kissimmee, Florida. This is the Major Arena Soccer League. Tonight, the hometown Orlando SeaWolves hosting their South Central Division rivals, the Kansas City Comets. Good evening and welcome. Alongside Austin David, I'm Jeff Radcliffe. Thanks for joining us here on MASL TV. Playoff implications aplenty, Austin. Simple. SeaWolves need to win to stay alive. Kansas City can virtually clinch with a win on the road tonight.
Right. I mean, it's as simple as that. Both teams need a win. Orlando more so just to stay alive in the possibility of making the playoffs. It's a very outside chance right now, but winning by at least 5 goals gives you a good opportunity. But for Kansas City's sake, if they win, they're in. And that's it. They don't have to worry about their last few games because they know they're in second and they've clinched. So it's massive implications for both teams tonight.
Comets at 11-10 will be led by the third leading point getter in the league, and that's Leo Gibson. And when we come back, we'll set up the matchup on MASL TV. It's Kansas City and Orlando.
One more time, Lakeview Elementary. Please remain standing while the colors exit the field. Thank you.
We are back in Kissimmee as the color guard will exit the field as we're getting set here for Kansas City. And the Orlando SeaWolves coming in at 8-12. The Comets 11-10, looking to virtually clinch a playoff spot with a win. They've only got 3 games left including tonight to play, where the SeaWolves have 4. Jeff Ratcliffe, Austin David here with you as we talk a little bit about Kansas City. The player everybody wants to talk about and watch for is Leo Gibson, a player who's second in the league in points and third in goals with 32.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He is the powerhouse of this Kansas City offense, and he seems to be everywhere all the time. He's a part of almost every single goal in one way or another. May not show up on the stat sheets, but he is the leading point getter of the offense, and yeah, he's definitely the guy to watch out for.
On the other side for Orlando, when you only got 1 target left to be able to play, you got to throw somebody up there. So Derek Huffman, number 9 for Orlando SeaWolves, is going to move from defense up to the top.
And we saw a little bit of this last, or 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, even last week a little bit. He big body, big guy, is able to get the ball off the boards and hold it, let the guys run in and come back, and he does well. Obviously, he's a very physical defender. Defending Leo Gibson would be ideal in this situation, but because you need goals, you throw Huffman up there up top.
Here's a look at starting 11s. Kansas City, the Comets, coached by Kim Rontved, now in his 2nd season. Here's what he's going to throw out there. His goalkeeper will be Mark Saxby. Alongside Gibson, you'll have Cale Williams, Brian Perez, Jonathan Sosa, and Robert Palmer. On the other side for Orlando, the usual suspects up there with Osvaldo Rojas, who's tied for 2nd in the league in fouls. Gordy Gerson, the leading scorer with 29 goals. Thiago Freitas will be starting in the midfield. In defense, Yoshi Sandoval and Edwin Rojas, and Heiner House will be between the sticks tonight for the SeaWolves, who are in a must-win situation.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gordy Gerson. He's been the leader for this offense. He's been banged up, he's been beaten, he's been injured, and everything hurts, but he's still out there. He'll still play, and he'll play a big part for this offense. And just to note, he is currently on 49 points this season, which is tied for his career high. So any goal or assist will make this a career year for Gordy Gerson. Not only that, but he hit 100.
With 3 games to play following tonight.
And he hit 100 games played earlier this season. He's got 29 goals. His career high is 36, which he set back in 2014, which was his Rookie of the Year season back with Seattle and Tacoma.
There you go, Austin David, the man with all the milestone information that you need to get set for this broadcast. The SeaWolves in the O-Town gold tonight, going from left to right to start. The Comets in the road white. They will play at Florida tomorrow on the 2nd game of a back-to-back. So really, going to put yourself in position to lock this thing up and finish 2nd in the South Central by getting a victory tonight. We welcome you wherever you happen to be. It is Game On here in Kissimmee. Kansas City moving from right to left, and we'll lift it long. They were looking for Palmer. The Jamaican will just see it go out of bounds, and the SeaWolves will touch the ball for the first time. Our referee tonight, Kermit Quisenberry. The senior referee is Manuel Ortiz, the assistant Hassan Belnahia, and the 4th official is Matthew Maracino. We'll see if they have a little more uneventful game than the crew that did the Kansas City-St. Louis game last week, a game that had a lot of discipline doled out at the end on a benches clearing situation.
There was 16 seconds left. They ran off the clock at the end of it just to end the game and get them out of there.
Get everybody out of there. Number of ambush and Comets players seeing fines in that one. And we thought that Kevin Ellis for the Comets would be suspended for this. In fact, he paid the fine and got a point on the accumulation. So they're at full strength here, the Comets, in this really very important contest here on the road, whereas the SeaWolves are going to be without number 10, Richard Schmerman, their defender, with a nose for goal. He's out on a suspension as well for accumulation.
Yeah, and that's a big loss just offensively. He's having a career year himself as well. Career high in points as well as penalty minutes, but that's neither here nor there. Big season for him offensively. Goals and assists for him.
A press from Kansas City. And we'll work it up to Huffman, who will use the body to hold things up. And the yellow line gets away. Kansas City looking to counter. These two teams playing for the 4th and final time this season. The 2-1 series edge to Kansas City. There's a shot off the glass from the foot of Johnny Mendoza.
And Johnny's been huge for this team. I've talked to a lot of the players over this season and just how big he has been for this team, you know, translating from outdoor to indoor.
Heiner was met with a big thud from Ellis, who has been excellent in his transition from the outdoor game to the indoor game this year.
And that's going to be a restart.
Well, unfortunately for the SeaWolves here in their own end. I'm talking with Tom Traxler. When I talked to him, he was going under the assumption that number 18, Kevin Ellis, was not going to be available. He said, who scares him the most, it's not so much Gibson, it's Sosa.
Yeah, especially on these free kicks.
He's on
Gonna
it
watch
now.
the fake there.
They'll work it back. Heiner making the save. The second ball is always the most dangerous, and we'll try to work it out. Here's Alvarez for the first time. Crosses the yellow, works it into the corner. And the trailing runner from Mendoza wasn't quite able to get on the other end of it.
Probably should have played that ball a little bit earlier for Alvarez at least. He had Johnny right center and then Huffman trailing on the back post. If he'd just squared that ball, could have been a better chance of playing it off the boards.
Brian Perez drew the foul there. Take a look at that point blank save from Heiner House. Back to action just underway in this first quarter, no score. And working along the boards with Ramon Palmer. And I think we'll get a change for the SeaWolves. Players coming on here. Gerson back on now for Orlando.
This is what you got to watch out for. You can't play too cute with the ball, and you can't play too loose with the ball because Kansas City will make you pay for that. They've got very quick players that like to play in transition. And
turnover middle of the park. And look what I found. Rojas comes away with it.
and have some numbers coming forward. It's a 3-on-2 or 2-on-3. The last time these two teams played, Mark Saxby came up incredibly huge, and many
one shot and through a laser, and it is 1-0. Who else? What Leo Gibson can do.
Who else would it be? Who else would it be but Leo Gibson on the frozen rope off the bounce? Just smashes it into the top corner. And Heiner is usually good with those kind of balls where he can read them off the foot, but I mean, that was into the top corner, and there was nothing he could have done about that. What a way to open this game up.
Not even 3 minutes in. 1-0 to the good for visiting Kansas City. Like to render their final two games of the season moot, really, like getting a win tonight. And Orlando chasing here once again. Rojas will hold it up into the corner.
Statistically speaking, in games that Orlando have had to chase, it doesn't end well. So let's hope that they break tradition a little bit here.
Did so getting their win in Kansas City last month. Come from behind fashion. Here's Gerson. And
got a trailer. Picks his head
yellow
up.
line, aims for that back post. Just off target, about an inch to the left.
It was a little bit too selfish from Ozzie. He had Drew running on the back post. If he had centered it off, there was nobody covering. It was just him and Saxby. Would have been an easier shot than what Ozzie ended up taking.
Lewis Neal into the game. Again, a player that only plays home or at Florida due to his coaching commitments. He's a good, settling, calm presence with all that outdoor experience at MLS and in England. It's always good at home when they have him. Here is Palmer. Back to Ellis, and Heiner has it.
I like
Huffman
the idea here.
Gets one shot away, diving save by Saxby.
We see Stefan Mijatovic making his home debut. Just signed back on March 8th. Played his first game the other night, and well, that was almost disastrous.
Squares it away.
Yeah, with Schmerman out, they needed a big body defender, and in steps the 6'5" Mijatovic.
Huffman will shoot, he'll score! And we're tied at 1.
Great transition there. Huffman basically and completely wide open, just sitting there waiting for the ball. Great shield of the ball first off. Simple, right through the legs of Saxby as well.
Well, it's how you answer able to do just that. So that will be Huffman's 5th goal of the season. We started again.
And that was off the assist from Thiago Freitas, who's adding more and more to his tally now. He's got 10 assists to go along with 12 goals with the SeaWolves this season.
So now on 11. 5 minutes gone here, first quarter. Must-win situation for Orlando to keep any slim hopes alive. That one's going to be lifted all the way out of play. Kansas City coming off again that win against St. Louis on the 23rd. Lost at Florida before that, but were able to win here in Orlando the night before. So we got 1-1 out of the last trip to Florida. Good work by Palmer. Checks the surroundings. And we'll lay it back to Sandovari. Saxby. Palmer. Cut off by Alvarez. We'll chase it into the corner. And this one out of play. And off of Kansas City, it'll be SeaWolves ball. Well, the MASL now has a podcast. Join host Craig Elston as he talks to players, officials, and coaches from across the league. Takes you behind the scenes of the MASL. Check out MASLsoccer.com to listen to past episodes and subscribe to the official MASL podcast. I had the pleasure of being on Craig's show a couple of days ago. We'll talk a little bit about the South Central setup and previewing this match. Certainly appreciate the time. 9 minutes to go, opening quarter, 1-1. Mendoza back defensively. We talk about the 4th time you've played a team. You know, we've said the same thing against St. Louis and the multiple games against Florida. How do you think this is for these teams, for Kansas City and Orlando? You kind of know what each other are going to do. There's really no secrets at this point. You just got to go out and execute.
Exactly right, and that's been Orlando's issue the past, last time at least.
Trying to settle, and good saved off the line. Good help there from Drew Goff, who got back.
Great positioning from Drew. Heiner caught a little bit too far out of his own box, and luckily the shot was not hit too well.
Trying a little touch shot. Oh, nicely kept in by Leo Gibson. Already has 1 goal tonight. Orlando backing off, going to clog the lanes.
The more you watch Leo Gibson, the more you just kind of think, how is he still able to play at this high level, despite how many years he's been playing? Because at this point, he's, what, 36 years old, 35?
35 years old, out of Liberia. Had 30 goals, 28 assists last year, and here he is at 33 and 28 now.
He's making the youngsters look bad all the time.
Played with Minnesota and USL for 4 seasons. With the U.S. national futsal team set up for a while. Here's Lewis, and Neal will play it back to Heiner.
He played with the old Charlotte Eagles back in the day, too.
Yep. Sandoval coming back from that suspension. Good to have him back in the fold tonight. Heiner will lift it down the boards. And Sandoval on the ball. To the corner, right into the waiting gut of Saxby. Out of play.
He's a big body Mijatovic, 6'5". 6'5".
At the mid-quarter break, 1-1 our score between the SeaWolves and Comets. We'll be right back.
This timeout is brought to you by what Orlando's newest attraction, Drive Shack. Combines the latest in gaming technology with the great game of golf to offer a modern twist to the sport. Enjoy swinging away in one of our 90 private temperature-controlled expansive bays with lounge seating, elevated dining, along with craft beers, wines, and cocktails from our signature restaurant and bar. And unlimited free play at our classic arcade game center. Join us for the holidays and check out upcoming events and offers at DriveShack.com.
Back in Kissimmee, 1-1 our score midway through the first. So shade over 7 minutes to play in this first quarter. Comets in white, going from right to left. As Lewis Neal settles things down in the middle to Gerson, the captain. Aboard Huffman. And the jousting ensues. Turned away, Gerson just missed the target high. Put a little wide. Well, he's got the quickest release in the league.
I don't want to say it has something to do with his short legs, but it does help a little bit.
Yeah. Tovic will come out on a full change as we take a look. How close was this from Gordy Gerson?
It was good pressure by Huffman. He just turns and fires with the left.
Just missed it.
Just to the right, yeah. You know, it's always interesting looking at, we've talked about this on broadcast a number of times, the different setups and the different ways that the fields are set up at different locations. You know, and you look at Orlando's, it's a very big field comparatively to some other places. And then you look at a field such as
Milwaukee,
or even Baltimore. Baltimore's is the size of XL Soccer.
Yeah, the tight confines. XL Soccer World, the training home of the SeaWolves, also a sponsor. The restart from the center circle from Joshio Sandoval. Up to Cruz. Pull it back out, and SeaWolves will reset things. Rojas and Mendoza attacking players there.
So you see Heiner coming out a little bit. We'll see how far he gets just to try and initiate some offense.
Rojas back. Freitas.
During that Baltimore game, we saw Heiner step in on that shortened field and take a lot of shots on goal. He took some from midfield, and you know, their midfield is basically the yellow line, so a lot of them are very close.
Now you have to close this down. Kevin Ellis marauding forward. And he'll wisely pull it back where the help is coming.
His former teammate Johnny Mendoza stopping him in his tracks.
That's right, played for Orlando City when Ellis was on loan in 2013. Trying to get a shot away off the window and headed back. Chested back from Alvarez. Breaks one tackle on the diagonal. Here comes Mendoza. Crosses the yellow, leaves it to the other side. Huffman with a big right-footed shot goes wide.
The outside of the post. And now the goal has moved. the goal literally shifted away from the boards just now after that shot.
See if the officials notice. Oh, Alvarez selling out, going for it. And trying to get out. Gibson helps things. And coming up that left side, Palmer. Controlling Gibson.
Great positioning by Johnny, just getting in front of him, making him double think his next action and shooting it right into him.
Perez back on the field. Gibson will come off. Togba. No direct traffic in front. The other Liberian.
understand Tonga's got some family friends in the attendance tonight.
No kidding. Gibson. That swarm to him. That one shot nearly gets through, and stepping on the ball was Gerson. One way to stop it.
Any part of the body that you can use, you use it.
Still staying in that attacking area for Kansas City, and it leads.
Should be a free kick on Huffman, and he is, well, we'll say that he doesn't agree, and often doesn't agree with some of the calls that are made.
On the ball is Perez. And Sendavari. Second ball through, a real quick redirect, and SeaWolves trying to survive this onslaught. They're able to do so. Heiner, long release with the right hand. Headed centrally. Lewis Neal got the perfect touch to it. Dispossessed. Grant on the right side. Gerson comes back to defend. Gibson now on the ball in a dangerous area. Ozzie with Dudu Cruz trying to combine and get out of trouble here. They're on the attacking half once more.
Center it off. You got someone in the middle.
Second ball, it was Neal trying to get in the end there.
Just hounding Ozzie as he went through. It was a one-man wrecking crew trying to get towards goal. Didn't have many helpers coming on the run though either.
Lucas Rodriguez all the way across the area. That one in, oh, beautiful, beautiful assist going to Robert Palmer there. And a tidy finish from Rodriguez.
Yeah, and that just comes from kind of passive pressure from the Orlando defense. They really didn't close down any passing lanes, and you kind of see it on the replay here. Wide open. They almost oversell the shot from the distance, and then that completely opened up right in the middle for Rodriguez.
The Argentine with his 13th goal of the season. A heads-up ball from Palmer, getting his 5th assist. So now 2-1 in front of the Comets.
Well, they've
2:17 to go.
They've come back already. You know, just got to get some other opportunities to come back again.
Comets out shooting Orlando 7-2. This one off of Orlando, and Kansas City will regain possession. A win tonight would put them at 12-10. And it's just 2 games to play. And really, the team they're competing with here is Orlando. Yeah, St. Louis is 10-13, but fewer games to work with. Really tough for them to make any catch up, so this will essentially clinch it tonight should they win.
Can't forget the goal differential either.
Exactly, so Orlando needs to win and win by 5 goals, I believe. Here's Thiago into the corner, pulling it back to his left foot, and that one knocked over the bar and into the kiddie play area. But a good look for Derek Huffman.
Yeah, you could see it almost immediately. As soon as it fell to Huffman's foot, it was going to go over. He was leaning back, not on balance, tried to just get his foot underneath it.
Saxby just going along with it. Heiner banging it off the boards, and that could be problematic. Heiner slid back just in case. Had some help from Mijatovic.
Yeah, Mijatovic has been fairly decent. His size is a big help, obviously, being 6'5", but there's Huffman winning the free kick there. But he's oversold on a lot of defensive plays when he's out there. And coming from the Chicago team and MASL 2 a few years ago.
Huffman draws another foul.
Mijatovic and Huffman, they like to play pranks on all the other players. I have heard of things that they have done, and well, they're interesting and creative, I'll say that. So we'll see what they draw up here.
Oh, scuffed a bit. Mijatovic.
Stefan's got one career goal in his 22 years of well, being alive.
Oh, that's right. Big absorption save from Saxby. Chasing back is Sandoval.
See the quick pressure coming. If you can break that pressure with the two players on you at one time, you have numbers going forward. It's just about beating that the first two defenders, and then that opens everything up for you. Just got to move the ball quick.
Sandoval on a one-time. Brought it down off his chest and tried to volley it home. Missed it wide of the target right. 35 seconds left in the quarter.
They're getting good shots off. They're getting good opportunities. It's just... Well, here's another one, possibly.
Alvarez keep it in front. 24 seconds left. 2-1 lead for the visitors. Palmer.
Too much open space.
Just trying to nick it with the outside of the foot. Unable to finish was Anthony Grant.
You could see from Orlando, they were kind of tentative. They didn't know if they would press the pass or sink back and
2 seconds.
Defend. Almost cost them.
A bicycle attempt shy of the buzzer comes to no avail. So after one, Kansas City 2, Orlando SeaWolves 1. Second quarter coming your way right after this on MASL TV. Back at Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee, Florida. It's set to go into the second quarter. Kansas City, as you see, they're leading 2-1. But you see, as we were just talking about these playoff possibilities, an 11-10 record, Austin. St. Louis 10-13. They win tonight. They're 2 games above 500. And Orlando, at that point, would be virtually eliminated. Florida already out of the picture, and Milwaukee's already clinched. So this is,
right,
as we can illustrate
and
here.
again, you look at the goal differential too. Minus 28 for St. Louis and a positive goal differential for Kansas City. I mean, it pretty much is Kansas City's playoff spot to lose at this point.
If they should finish tied, it goes to head-to-head. Then after that, goal differential in the head-to-head. So there is an opening. Not likely, but it's there. But first of all, you're going to have to win and win comfortably here tonight. And so far, that has not gone according to script.
It's always going to be a very tough game for Orlando coming into this one, and knowing exactly what what you have in store for you. A team that is looking to clinch.
Orlando in yellow, going from right to left here in this second. Rojas holds it up. Voodoo Cruz now. Edwin Rojas back there with Cruz. Forward by Mendoza. And off his line quickly was Saxby. Now, SeaWolves would like to thank Miter USA for providing tonight's match balls. Miter, founded in Huddersfield, England, is among the world's oldest sporting goods brands, starting production in 1817. Miter is a proud partner of the Major Arena Soccer League, providing arena-specific match balls to both the MASL and the MASL2. Togba will win the possession. Now we'll work it into the corner. Pacey Palmer. Working it left, Ellis. Saved by Heiner.
Very, very close there.
Ellis is crafty. Neal with a little bit of space. Use that magic left foot to dump it into the other corner. Huffman holding it up. Waiting for some assistance. Has it on his left foot. Thiago back out there.
You got to be careful with Thiago here. You know, he's great on the ball, but the way that Kansas City like to press, he's not the quickest, especially with some of the injuries he sustained.
He falls to Gerson. Got something away. Cycle it back.
It's a great closeout by Saxby. Just closed down the angle completely.
That one is in the net, and we're tied at 2. And Yoshi is struck.
Yoshi only his
second goal of the year. Yeah.
He has had so many opportunities to score this year, and it just felt like he wouldn't score again. Scored on that free kick a few months ago, but not in open play until just now. And that's got to be a weight lifted off his shoulders as well, because he's deserved a goal. He's got 11 assists. He's got 12 points on the season. And now, with that goal, he has now set a career high in points on the season.
Congratulations, Joshio Sandoval, Hammond, Indiana native. And you know you're going to need some scoring from places you're not accustomed to seeing. That means from the defenders and the midfielders that don't generally rack up the goals. And if you get more of that tonight, that will be good.
Especially with Richard Schmerman out, who is a goal-scoring defender.
Huffman is the same thing, but he's playing at target tonight. And brings a feistiness, too, to the other side of the field. Heiner caught out a little bit. Here's Goff. Drew up the line. Able to get it away. Thiago settles into the circle, and we'll redirect things. Mendoza gets a touch on the inside. Rojas couldn't collect. And we chased into the corner by Palmer. Two Palmers, Ramon and Robert, unrelated. That one saved off the line.
It's a little bit of too much of time for Drew to set that one up. Had time for, I believe it was Palmer, to just set on the line and position himself well.
Marco Sandovari. Some trouble was Ignacio Flores, and a foul.
Going quick now.
Goff looking for his first goal. Or second, yeah, he does have one already. Concord, New Hampshire native.
So now the question becomes, was Gordy credited with an assist on that goal? Because if that was, that would be his 50th point, which would also set a career high.
Let's refresh things and see. Oh, and Heiner had to come out, or that would have been 3-2. And the pressure continues to come from Kansas City. They're going out to take this game, not try to survive it. Good ball through from Cruz. Huffman trying to be a bit fancy about it. Sandoval back on. Into the corner, Gerson. On his right foot, cuts it to his left. The trailer from Alvarez, he won't get there.
Now you're in trouble here.
Cut off. One-on-one. Gerson hustling back to help And the defense does its job for the time being.
Good sandwich between Yoshi and Mijatovic there.
No trouble brewing on the right side, Robert Palmer. Or Ramon, rather. Ramon. And draws a foul. Gerson, the guilty party this time.
It's the trademark Gordy smile after he goes down and the call goes the other way. Something he tends to do very often. Always a smile on his face, though, no matter what.
And it's always a good day when you're just out there playing. Winding up. Sandoval, I think, was there to help disrupt it. That one off the bar. Going to reload perhaps a third time to hit his own player.
Off of Leo Gibson, and that was a golden opportunity. Now you've got Gordy on the back stick.
Huffman, Alvarez, Gordy can't get enough on it. Boy, end-to-end soccer now. 10 minutes to go in the half. Williams. Kale was just waiting down there. I think he stopped his own goal attempt a couple of times. Alvarez ahead.
Skelter for sure.
Settled by Togba. Coming out is Ellis. Togba, shy of the yellow. Dragging his foot, gets it to the left. One-on-one with Alvarez. We'll get it through. Sandoval is there. Will you nick down and draw the foul?
Just go back on that assist. It was Gordy's assist, so 50 points for him on the season. So both Yoshi and Gordy setting career highs in points on that goal.
The daily double. Gordy coming in fourth in the league. And that stat.
And remember, tonight's auction. Over by the merchandise stand, you can get your
Cruz coming up on 9 minutes to go. Neal. Edwin Rojas to Lewis, and Heiner now across the yellow line. Will lift it with the left foot into the corner. Rojas awaits. He'll get a shot away. Just took enough of a deflection so Cruz couldn't get there.
Yeah, Eduardo was right there on the back stick. As soon as that deflection came, if it was an inch to his right, would have been right in the path to hit him in on goal.
Neal not going to be fooled there. They leave it back.
That's not the place you want to put it if you're Eduardo. You don't want to put it back in the face of goal. You want to get it away from there as much as possible. I get it, you're trying to put it to a teammate, but you got to understand that Kansas City is pushing numbers forward. They're trying to attack the ball at any point in time. So as soon as you have a lofted ball in the middle of the box, they're probably going to be the ones trying to get their heads on it or anything.
Trying to find Huffman, a high boot. Will give Orlando the ball here. 2-2 our score. Orlando looking for its first lead. That's not going to get the job done as Rojas pings it out.
Yeah, it was almost a little bit of a waste, kind of a rush job there from Edwin. Didn't need to shoot from that distance, didn't settle the ball down, didn't have balance, and as soon as he left his foot, it was going over. So you see Saxby coming up a little bit to try and initiate more offense. His distribution and his game, as soon as saves are made, the way he distributes very quickly out from the back is really key to this offensive talent that Kansas City has been able to produce over the last few weeks.
He's Kansas City area native, Saxby from Olathe. Played at Benedictine and Johnson County Community College. Has 109 saves this year, splitting time with Petrusek.
We got
7:41, and we'll be right back here on MASL TV.
Medal vacating. Always sweet, always hot, always fresh. Located at 1912, right by the stadium. If you want to visit, also you can go to medalvacating.com. Catering services, online order, and much more.
Back to Silver Spurs Arena in Kissimmee. 2-2 our score midway through the second quarter. Jeff Radcliffe along with Austin David as we take a look around the MASL tonight. This is one of 4 games. And right now, the Harrisburg Heat all over the Mississauga Metro Stars 3-0. Coming up a little later, you've got the, I'm not sure if that's all correct there, but later on tonight you do have St. Louis and Milwaukee in the South Central, El Paso and Monterey as well. Another big weekend here as the season starts getting late.
Very close one there.
And now on the run, Thiago will hold it back. Oh, great ball ahead. Rojas couldn't do much with it.
You have a great ball and then a not so great ball.
Got to link them up. Lifted off the plexiglass. Thought that might have been going out. Forced back, John by Alvarez. Resetting things is Saxby. Togba, oh, good step to the left. Sandoval there to disrupt things. He goes down, draws the foul. Ball comes back to the Seawolves.
Great veteran move from Yoshi. Picked the ball up with 2 feet, flicked it around the defender, and then the defender went in to get the ball, but the ball wasn't there.
House. Seawolves still looking for their first lead of this one.
That's a poor giveaway from Ozzy there.
Alvarez hustling back. And the pace of this Kansas City team possesses to get on the ball.
Yeah, and they're beating Orlando almost to every second chance ball. That's just how they play. Orlando may be playing a little bit too conservative considering what they need to do in this game.
If you're Kim Ronfed, you're thinking, okay, we win this one, really the next 2 are moot. Not going to matter. Normally on a back-to-back, you'd maybe save a little in the tank for the game on the back night, but not tonight.
Yeah, you go all or nothing, because if you win the game or even, you know, losing by like a small goal margin, that's still pretty much setting you up for making the playoffs.
Yep. A good strategy from the second-year head coach, the great Dane Kim Ronfed.
Long-time indoor soccer player.
He's a legend.
Legend indeed.
Played with the B-52s in Wichita and then the Wings. 634 appearances and 309 goals. That's just with the Wings. Played with the Kansas City Attack as well.
Here comes that pressure again.
Rojas, flick it wide. Gibson on the ball. Here come the Comets once more. 3-on-1. Leaving it back, and it's in. Back in front again, 3-2. And that was taking advantage of the man advantage on the attack. Palmer, I believe, finished it off.
Yeah, Ramon Palmer with that one, and that was an easy one right there. Just sitting right in front of goal. Cruz not able to get to it in time. Ellis with the assist, and well, Orlando back down a goal again.
And Kansas City knows if they keep it close, as you said, so they're going to help their playoff cause. So Palmer's 11th goal of the season has scored 46 goals for Kansas City coming into this year. It's one thing you notice about a lot of the teams that Orlando plays. Look at the Milwaukee's, the Kansas Cities of the world. These teams like Baltimore have kept that core group. Teams that have kept those players year after year after year.
Yeah, and you see with Orlando's team, the way they built it was around that old Cedar Rapids roster. You see a lot of the guys that are here are from that roster last year, which made the playoffs. But you bring in a lot of new pieces, a lot of different pieces.
New environment.
Exactly.
There's Freitas. Gerson ties it again. Well, there's your answer. And Gerson to go with his assist. Now has his first goal of the night, his 30th of the year.
6 more to tie his career high, but great goal from Gordy. Did not score this past weekend. Looked good in warm-ups. He's spending a lot of extra time out in warm-ups as well to try and just get the shot right. You know, his knee's been bothering him a little bit recently. Just wanted to make sure that he got enough reps in to be confident in scoring goals, and sure enough, he knocks one in.
Orlando has not been able to get out in front, but they have answered time and time again. In fact, for all 3 goals have been immediately answered.
That's half the battle right there, just keeping it within arm's reach. You know, there's a long game to go.
.4:11 left to go in this second quarter. And taken away, and Ellis is able to regain possession. Cutting to the right foot, shot off of Orlando. Yoshi was the last to touch it. It goes out of play, so we'll have an always dangerous restart from the spot on the wide side.
Last-ditch defending there by Yoshi as well, getting down to block that. Last thing you want to do is give away an open shot.
Far corner spot, just under 4 to go. Great opportunity here for the Comets to regain the lead. Will drag, will shoot. Heiner got a piece of it just to keep it wide. Orlando desperately trying to get out of their own end. Good hold up play by Sosa. Turned over but fouled. Also plays it forward. Rodriguez. Now Togba to his right foot. Heiner got a paw to it. Desperately trying to clear here of the SeaWolves. Trying to find guys like Ellis, who's sneaky, and a bicycle kick out of play. Don't get any points for that one on the captain, Brian Perez.
They give him a style point, but that,
sure.
that doesn't really count for anything.
Well, not like we saw from Dyrone Espria. You see that USL goal of the
Yeah,
week?
the
Oh my goodness,
kick.
he did a bicycle kick against Las Vegas.
First off, I was surprised that he was playing USL. I thought
Yes,
he'd
yeah, I know.
be playing with the MLS team.
Timbers 2. Not to cross-promote another league or anything, but good soccer is good soccer.
Well, a lot of these guys that you see here
Have
coming
played
from
in the USL, yeah.
Including Gordy Gerson for a tad of a bit with the Dayton Dutch Lions.
Oh, the old DDLs. There's Lewis Neal, a longtime USL player in addition to MLS. Over the top, off the back of Cale Williams. Here's Gerson. With the yellow line, trying to get a touch as Huffman, he'll shoot. Good save made by Saxby. Good bit of possession here from the SeaWolves. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. 3-3 our score. Lewis with the left foot, diving, Perry wide. Mijatovic on the ball, on a volley, and sends it into orbit. We'll go look at Saxby on the reaction here. There's Neal. Oh, he might have been able to tuck that one in. Reiner coming up at the half. Highlights in a quick interview with head coach Tom Traxler of the SeaWolves. Still a little less than 2 minutes from that.
Silent auction going on at the merchandise stand in the main lobby. Yep. Game long, game worn blue jersey
Fight toss being difficult.
going on for a silent auction tonight.
Heiner goes up and takes it in front of Palmer. Excuse me, in front of Gibson. And boarded in, and in some pain, and a blue card. Our first of the match has been shown. And I believe it's Cruz that is in a lump the other side. And slow to rise. And with 1:21, Orlando will go on the power play here momentarily. Cruz back up off the mat. And the blue card goes to Tagba. So the Comets on their penalty kill, 56%. SeaWolves 45 on the power play.
On the borders, about one idea. Share border style food puts the world because border style makes steamed grilled meat, fresh ingredients, and fresh
The Comets' first penalty, a team that averages 7.3 penalty minutes per game. So for 1:21 in this half, and another 39 in the third quarter. It'll be a power play for Orlando. Thiago, turn, fire from Rojas and Alvarez. Heiner to Thiago. Now you want on the ball in this situation. 1 minute to go here on the half. They're on the power play to the end of this half, unless they score and release the penalty. Alvarez trying to switch. Good step two by Palmer. And a restart Orlando. Sandoval. Thiago. Save made by Saxby. 38 seconds to go. And down the other end. Alvarez to Yoshi. Calling out the play with 22 seconds to go. Alvarez to Sandoval. It's all on the perimeter. This is good work by Kansas City to try to kill it off. That one off the wall and sent into the rafters by Ozzy Rojas with 11 ticks left here in this first half. So it'll be, should they not score a 39 seconds in the first 39 of the third quarter, will be a man advantage for Orlando when they come out of the locker room. But would love to just get one now. 11 ticks left. Gerson, that was met. And that may do it. 6 seconds. House down to 4. Thiago, 1. And that will do it. So unable to take advantage of the power play. They'll have some time coming back, but at the half, locked in a 3-3 battle. We send it downstairs to Austin David, who is with Tom Traxler.
First half, all tied up, back and forth affair. What do you think so far?
Yeah, it's been up and down a lot in transition. We got to clean it up. We right now I think we should deserve more out of the game we're getting. We're giving away a lot of silly goals right now. We got to clean that up.
You know what's at stake here. What do you need to improve on in the second half to keep your playoff dreams alive?
I think I just said it. We got to clean up at the back. We got to stop giving them such silly goals that we've been giving up.
All right. Thank you very much. Back to you upstairs.
Thanks, Austin. Thanks, Coach. Well, when we come back, scores, highlights, and a whole lot more. Halftime show right after this on MASL TV. Halftime in Kissimmee at Silver Spurs Arena. The Kansas City Comets and the hometown Orlando SeaWolves knotted up 3 goals apiece midway through this one. Let's take a look at your first half highlights. So 6 goals, 3 aside. It started with Kansas City and Leo Gibson making no mistake there. Gibson's 33rd goal of the season, but immediately answering was a man playing up top, Derek Huffman. Huffman with his 5th goal of the year. And then right back at it here in the first was Lucas Rodriguez on a beautiful feed from Palmer. And we went into the second quarter, and the SeaWolves were down 2-1. Sandoval here from Gerson ties things up at 2. That was the 2:11 mark of the second quarter, but Kansas City would not relent. Ramon Palmer on the easy finish on the back post. Kevin Ellis got the assist. And then Gerson, about 4 minutes from halftime, got his first of the night. And that's where we're at, 3-3, as Kansas City and Orlando 3-3 here at halftime. We'll be right back here at Silver Spurs Arena. You're watching MASL TV. You're watching the Orlando SeaWolves and Kansas City Comets on MASL TV. Right now, 3-3 at the half. When we come back, third quarter kicks off in this South Central Division battle here on MASL TV. We'll be right back. Back in Kissimmee, getting set for the third quarter here between Kansas City and Orlando, with the SeaWolves and Comets tied 3 goals apiece. Jeff Radcliffe, Austin David, and our entire Gemstone crew bringing you the pictures of this one. So happy you are watching wherever you happen to be. Let's take a look maybe what Orlando would need to do here going into the second half here to see out I would say 3 points, but that's not the way it works. We'll see out a victory here against their South Central Division rivals, Austin.
Yeah, well, I mean, score goals. It's simple, but yeah, you need at least a 5-goal cushion between Kansas City and yourself to even keep your playoff hopes alive. So you probably start pushing numbers forward a little bit late in the third quarter. Try and maybe take a 1-goal, 2-goal lead here in early in the third. And then start pushing numbers forward.
Well, let's take a look at the stat sheet after 2 quarters of play. Kansas City out shooting Orlando 16-10. It was even in the second. That first quarter was dominated by Kansas City, but Orlando really came back in the second.
Right, it was a little bit of a slow start for Orlando, but they built into the game as they tend to do. Especially when they go down early in games, they build up into games, build themselves back. It's not a tactic that you like. You'd rather be up early, but you want to see the fight from your team. And that's something that Tom Traxler said earlier at practice this week. He wants to show the fans that even if their playoff chances are slim, they will come out and fight and put 110% into every game.
That's what any fan wants. They'll have 39 seconds on the power play remaining when they resume, as James Togba still in the sin bin for that reckless tackle in the latter portions of that second quarter. So have a man advantage, but it'll be short. Not much time to work with. Can they take advantage and take their first lead? Orlando in the yellow will attack left to right here in this third quarter. The SeaWolves will go to Milwaukee for a game Sunday, then play their last 2 at home against Utica and Florida.
I mean, the Milwaukee game's tough in and of itself because you're going to Milwaukee, and they're still trying to play for a chance to host the Ron Newman Cup. And then you host
against
Utica.
San Diego, yeah.
Utica is very good as well. So
and it's not going to be easy. Nothing ever worth it is. But one game at a time. It's a cliche, but it's so true. We're underway here in this third quarter. About 27 seconds remaining on the power play.
Leo Gibson kind of getting dragged against the wall by 2 SeaWolves defenders. I think it was Yoshi and Ozzy. He's just laughing about it now. He's just Nice little chuckle.
And 25 seconds away from killing off the power play. And now to 18 seconds into the boards it goes. And Orlando will have short time to do something with it.
Hefty collision there between Yoshi and Gibson there.
15 seconds. Yoshi crosses halfway. Really good defensive work. Down a man. 6 seconds left.
Kansas City is very good with their penalty kills as well.
That one all the way across Gerson, and the penalty has expired.
Just inches away from getting a goal right at the end of that.
Was not to be. So it remains 3-3.
And now we'll have some switches here. Get Mijatovic on the ball.
Mijatovic is on it. Off the window. Be there to the second. Gerson will give it a go on the volley, upset with himself. Trying to get over top of it, could not.
I like the effort, though. I like the chance. You got to take chances in this kind of game now. It's tied up. At this point, even if you win by one, you're almost kind of setting yourself up to be out of the playoffs. So go for it. Go for some spectacular shots. Try anything at this point because you have nothing to lose except where you are right now.
Cruz got fouled, and demonstratively disagreeing was Anthony Grant, Bowling Green product, who spent time with the Richmond Kickers before finding his way into the indoor game. And that went into the stands, so that one wasted.
Yeah, that wasn't good by Heiner there. He's gotten a lot better, like from where he was at the beginning of the season to where he is now in terms of distribution, he has gotten a lot better. But he'll just have moments like that where it'll kind of get away from him. We might see a card here? No. Thought I saw the ref reaching for his pocket, but Sosa is down. He got tangled up with, I believe it was Huffman.
Sosa checking the chicklets. Alvarez backed out of there. So Comets would like to have a game with less argy-barginess as they did against their rivals against St. Louis last week. Good turn from Gerson. Across to Huffman, left back to Alvarez. Good defense, trying to wrong foot him. That one missing the target just high. A good look for the SeaWolves there with 13:23 to go in the third. Changing lines. We wait for the restart. They lost the ball in the in the kiddie playhouse. Oh,
yeah, probably not the greatest of times to try and deflate that.
Yep. A new meaning to the word deflate gate.
Now we just got to get the ball over the goal. Back
or
into
if
play.
you just go under. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Saxby restarts things. Orlando is yet to lead. Fought back from 1-goal deficits on 3 occasions so far. Heiner has it for Orlando. And now we see everything at full strength. Let's see tactically if any changes come the way of Tom Traxler's crew. Rojas trying to turn off the top of the wall.
Just barely stays in play.
Neal. Oh, commits the foul. Not going to like that.
Neal was grabbing for the ball thinking it was going the other way.
Heiner got a touch to it, headed back to Heiner, and then making contact was Gibson.
You see Rojas, Mendoza, all those guys saying that Leo put an arm into Heiner, and it was his ball to claim at shoulder level, so they have a valid point there, but I don't think that was enough contact necessarily to call anything.
Out of play off of the Comets.
You know, so as physical as these games have been between these two teams, there haven't been many fouls or at least blue cards so far. Only one. That was Tagba back in the end of the second quarter.
Junior Cruz.
Maybe they got it all out of their system against St. Louis.
Long way to go to see that. Boy, nice attempt. And had scrambling all over it for Zaxby.
Bit of mixed signals there as Saxby was going for the ball and his defender was trying to clear it. Almost wound up in the feet of a SeaWolves attacker.
Edwin Rojas now to Gerson. And Gibson got a little too much of that one.
Barreled him over. Starting to get a bit more chippy now.
As the season draws closer and closer to a close, the stakes get higher and higher, at least for the divisions that are still open, like the South Central.
That should be a restart,
here.
Shouldn't it?
Well, it's not going to be.
You can see Huffman was adamantly making the movement, but
Gerson takes a wicked hop off the wall. Saxby has it.
again,
Gibson on the move, lifted out of play.
you saw in that play earlier, it was Huffman getting tangled up again. Seems to be a part of everything down there.
Want to be in on things, sure, no doubt. Chess pieces continuing to be moved across the board here in Kissimmee.
I still will never understand that little hair thing that Huffman has.
Yeah.
You see Gibson
getting a talking to from Coach Ronfett.
Yeah. Saying use your head.
Doesn't matter how many goals you scored. Need you to get this right.
That's the mark of a good coach. You know,
yeah.
Just despite of how good of a player is, you still need to be able to talk to him as a player and not just as a star player.
Thiago thought he had gotten out of trouble, but it's finished off. So a bad turnover. And Anthony Grant gives Kansas City the lead for the fourth time.
Bad. That's the best way you could say it. I mean, Grant was just sitting there right at
cherry picking.
Yeah. Well, that's how Huffman got his first goal of the game. You know, where Orlando is right now in terms of what they need to be doing in this game, they can't afford to give up those goals. Those lapses in concentration, I mean, they're basically killing your playoff chances.
Grant's 15th goal of the season. And now chasing once more. Can they answer? There's Mota getting into the game. That one pawed over the top. No touch on it, in fact. Gerson nearly leveled the scoreline once more. Take a look. Here's Mota, Naka, trying to knock on the door. Oh, not a bad effort from Gerson, just tie. Good long. Oh, and falling again to Ellis. Poor clearance attempt down as
Mijatovic may have gotten pushed, and you could hear the entire Orlando bench in full voice on that instance.
Good reaction with that left paw from Heiner House.
He just palmed it away, almost came out of his box to do it too. Now is a chance for Gordy.
Gerson.
Almost a good touch. Almost, and now you got to get back here.
Tagba.
You got 3 down sitting at the back.
Ellis. Heiner off the window. SeaWolves desperate to clear here. Mijatovic.
Can't do too much cuteness
run
there.
Up. Missing the target wide was Perez. And play continues, and it's 5-3.
No, they're gonna
wave it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mijatovic.
Oh no,
are they giving the goal or are they not giving the goal? Because Mijatovic went down. I mean,
take a closer look here.
Yes, he went down. I don't know if it was necessarily that. You can't see it there, but I don't think.
Now Ellis
No,
did
they're
the
giving,
deed.
they're giving the goal.
So Ellis gets the goal after knocking down Mijatovic. And now 2 goals down, Orlando. And Kevin Ellis has his 9th of the season.
It's amazing. He's got 9 goals, and he only joined about, what, a month and a bit ago?
He's certainly been effective. And again, Tom Traxler and his staff didn't think he'd be playing tonight. And now Orlando's going to have to find something. Alvarez. Now Mendoza. Kansas City comfortable here on the road.
And they've just pulled 2 goals ahead now, and that was just big miscommunication. He zigged when he should have zagged.
Safely back to Heiner.
Someone's got to come into the middle.
Alvarez listens to you. Huffman.
Again, it's just breaking the press in any sport, really, whether it's basketball or soccer. Breaking the press is still breaking the press. You got to pass quick. You got to move the ball and get into
or
open
go
spaces.
over the top like that. Huffman plays it square. Oh, easy call there. As Mendoza hit the deck. Cruz, the yellow line, his right foot, leaves it. Alvarez. And not enough on that ball to keep it going. Able to recover. 8:50 to go in this 3rd quarter. Kansas City 2 quick goals here in this third to take a 5-3 lead. Well, all season, the Comets, arguably the second best team in this division. That's where they sit. They've sat in second most of it. And starting to make it official. Rojas, and they're continuing to press. As Rodriguez trying to wreck it up. Every loose ball being won by the men in white.
Yeah, that's why I said in the first half it was the same thing. Every second ball, every second chance ball, Kansas City is right on top of it. It just looks like Orlando is I mean, giving up those 2 goals in succession really quickly like that, it can knock your confidence. But, you know, Tom Traxler said his team is stronger than that, I guess. He feels that his team is mentally strong and that they can come back from the deficit like that.
They've shown that this year. They've had some deficits and had the win coming back in Kansas City.
And now we have Anthony Grant down. Rojas, I don't know what happened. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Grant went down, but I don't know what happened.
And the camera was away from the ball. We'll take it. 7:34 to go in the 3rd. It's Kansas City 5, Orlando 3 on MASL TV. The Orlando SeaWolves here on their home patch, trailing 5-3 to the visiting Kansas City Comets. And what is essentially a must-win for any possible postseason aspirations. And goals from Grant and Ellis here in this third quarter, the difference. It was 3-3 at the half. Well, outside of being on the team, best way to know what's happening in the MASL is to tune in to Kick This. Every weekend, Soccer Sam discusses the ins and outs of all the MASL action. Find Kick This every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern on iHeartRadio.
Go down, make your bid, and then come back and enjoy the game.
Well, the SeaWolves here need to find something.
Got to start pushing numbers forward if you're Orlando. I get that you don't want to give away too many easy goals, but right now you've got Ozzy, and well, that's it.
Knocked down. This is going to be something Ozzy's happy with.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, that these two teams have played 3 times before. They know little intricacies. They know how certain players are going to play against them, and they can kind of feed off of that a little bit.
Gerson got the better of that exchange.
You got to center it off. You got
able to do so. Rojas off the window, looking for a second opportunity at it. Going down and getting it was Saxby, and now on the break, counter continues. Cale Williams right at the yellow line. Another opportunity missed at the other end. Just have not been clinical. That one from Perez went right to Heiner.
Now you bring Thiago back in and get some good movement on the ball. Gotta go quick.
Heiner couldn't get it clear.
Again, Heiner tends to, what he does is when he gets the ball, he steps on it to center it, and then he goes with the ball. And against this high-pressing team like that, you can't afford that extra second, that half second, because you know they're going to be right on top of you. And you saw it as soon as he stepped on the ball. I think it was Gibson was right on top of him, and then he panicked, and then he turned the ball over. And those little things are the things that the SeaWolves just need to cut out, and it's been a bugaboo for them for the entire season almost.
And Kansas City knows Orlando doesn't have the big arsenal of targets to be able to just release long balls.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. I mean, you're still missing a number of players. Thiago's not playing at 100%. Victor France is out for the season. Luke Bowden's missed a number of games to this point. You've signed a number of players, but you know, preseason is all about building that chemistry. And when you're constantly changing things, bringing in new players in order to
there's been no consistency, and now
and that makes it difficult. And you talk about Kansas City and how they've been together for years, and there's all that consistency, and they're the ones that are so close to making the playoffs. It makes a huge difference. And it's not just with MASL, it's any soccer team, any sports team. Consistency is key.
Thiago calling for it is Naka. It's on the ball. Now Cruz looking to work themselves into a shot opportunity here. Huffman along the boards. No Cruz. Thiago.
Huffman. Occupy the space now. You got to make the runs. As soon as someone gets it at the top of the box, someone needs to make a run in behind at least to pull the defense away.
Mendoza.
And no one's doing that. Everybody's just sitting around, and that's not going to do anything. It's almost too easy for Kansas City if they're just sitting around the arc.
Good touch by Dudu Cruz and tripped up. And there's nothing in it except for Kevin Ellis now down on his knees. Slow to get up, and they're back on the counter. Orlando got a change. Some fresh players in.
So you got 2 players on him, and everyone's standing around waiting for the ball to come to them.
Huffman will head it out of play.
It's too much stagnant offense for Orlando. They're expecting one player to try and do something with the ball, and then a reaction. You have to have a reaction before everything happens. You can't just react to something after it happens because, well, I mean, has it worked to this point in this second half?
Not as of yet, but I think you do have to give a little of the credit to Kansas City.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of credit for Kansas City. They have definitely cut off a lot of opportunities for Orlando going forward.
Oh, and going to be in the attacking half after that foul.
Yeah, that's Leo Gibson, and he's holding his hamstring.
And
or his
going
knee.
into the playoffs, that's not something if you're Kansas City. That's the worst possible scenario to have an injury here late in the season.
And that's your entire offense. He's your leader in goals, assists, and points. And to have him have...
He's back up, though. Good news.
Let's hope it's just a stinger for him. You hate to see someone limping off with an injury.
I'll walk it off. Take a look if there's anything in it. Oh. That doesn't feel good.
No, it does not at all.
And he'll be checked out by the training staff.
Got 5 minutes left here in the third. You're up 2. I say why, at this point, depending on the injury, if Gibson feels enough that he's able to continue, by all means, let him continue. But at this point, you're so close to the playoffs, why risk it?
Oh, boy.
There's a tangle. Grant
Ellis
and Yoshi.
again. And Grant will need to walk out of there.
Yeah, Yoshi's got to stop clapping, though. I get it. He's happy, but don't do that. you don't want to start something unnecessarily.
Gordy couldn't get it on target. He gave him the Pelosi clap. That's what it looked like. Oh, goodness.
It's like a little golf clap.
Yeah. 4:15 to go in this third quarter. 5-3 Kansas City. Lifted towards Grant. And Yoshi continuing to joust. Coming in there late was Gorson.
We'll see how that battle continues. Oh, there's a tough challenge. That might
and a blue card.
I would agree with that. Stefan just came in too heavy with a challenge like that. This is too much. And now
easy.
Unnecessary. Just walk away.
Stefan will go into the box, and that box has everything. So it will be a power play now for Kansas City and a chance to extend the lead.
Only the second blue card of the game. Couldn't have come at a worse time for Orlando, though.
With just a shade under 4 minutes to go in the third. Well, 2 goals down is one thing. 3 against the way Kansas City has played defensively is going to be very, very difficult.
This is Stefan's first penalty visit of the season. Of course, he's only played in one other game.
He's still pleading his case while he's in there.
You see Tom and Chris Kokalis, they're talking with the refs, same as Gordy. So now we're getting an explanation here.
The signing auction is going to be taking place right after the third quarter. Once again, this is your last call.
Take a look here.
The silent auction.
See if the production truck can pull up exactly what that foul was so we can get a better look at it.
Still some discussion going on.
Yeah.
He's saying he lifted an elbow.
Hold on, now the door is open for Gordy. Okay, so here's the foul.
Yeah,
yep.
Like he hooked him. That's fair.
That's fair, yeah.
But why is Gerson in?
I think maybe for dissent. May have gotten a yellow. We'll have to check with our guys in the booth here.
And that's one guy you do not want to be serving in a yellow card right now. So on the power play, this is going to be a very tall order for Orlando to keep this at a 3 or 2 goal deficit. From the point, Gibson working around the clock. Sosa. So 1 blue card and 1 yellow card. And Mendoza doing his best to get out of there now for maybe a shorthanded opportunity. Oh,
Nothing doing.
No. Well, they call it late call. Mendoza.
Honestly, if I could have probably given that either way. It was just a tangle of feet.
Be careful here. You turn it over, you're going to be.
You got to feed him back.
Oh, no, great opportunity for Mendoza. Did not deflect it wide of the goalkeeper, Saxby.
Yeah, and it was a great play by Edwin, just playing it off the boards. Didn't try and take too much of a risk with it, playing it on the ground.
1:12 to go in the man advantage.
Shame Johnny couldn't get a better touch on it on goal. Saxby, again, has been very good for this Kansas City team, as he has been every time that the SeaWolves have come up against him, well, except for that first time.
Perez, Gibson. Perez squares it. Staying on that yellow line, will lift it to Gibson. One-time shot off the top of the bar, short.
Great closeout by Edwin there, stopping it right in its tracks.
Cruz put it down the boards. 39 seconds left in the power play. Heiner has it at his feet. He's trying to carry this out with Cruz.
Got to clear it down. You've got
Half a minute.
You've got 4 Kansas City players around you. And somehow Johnny earns the foul.
Will waste a good portion of the 24 seconds remaining as Orlando looking to kill off a power play just like their opponents did earlier in the match.
Somehow Johnny took on 4 Kansas City defenders, managed to wiggle his way out of it and earn the foul. Again, all these players have spoken to how imperative Johnny is for this team. You know, coming from the outdoor game and into the indoor game, his quickness, his touch on the ball, and his goal-scoring prowess as well as just soccer knowledge has been really key to this team. And every time he doesn't travel with the team, they feel like they're losing a big piece of their offense.
Rodriguez to Gibson. Back to Rodriguez in the corner. And put into the net, and releasing the power play with 3 seconds to go. The penalty is done. So a power play goal, the worst possible time, right when you've nearly killed it off. Not sure if that was in before the finish.
I think
in the back stick.
I think it was just tapped in. Gibson.
And Rodriguez.
So it was Ellis. Yeah, it was stabbed in. So Ellis is going to have the assist, I think.
He's claiming the goal, I think.
He's got the fist up.
See what the officials give him. Kevin Ellis.
No, that was an earlier
one. Yep.
If it goes to Ellis, it would be his brace. We'll see what they end up giving him in a second. Meanwhile, like you said, power play is released.
And now they're down, doubled up here. 6-3, quickly trying to answer was Naka. And Mota puts it over the top. I think they're still trying to decide in the scoring booth who's getting credit for that. And right now, Orlando's in a spot with 1:48 to go. 3 seconds away from killing off the penalty. If you're going to give up the goal, you might as well do it early, right? And not expend all the energy.
Yeah. But at this point, you're down 3. Somehow an explosion of offense is going to have to come from Orlando in order to make anything happen here in this game in terms of the grand scheme of things.
Well, should Orlando at least come back to win without the 5-goal cushion, they're forced to win out. And Kansas City would have to lose out at that point. Gerson. Time to get on the horse here. 1:12 to go in the third. Neil Tomota. They have been skunked here in this third quarter. 3 goals conceded, none scored. Rodriguez wants a foul and got it.
Let's start pushing numbers forward. At this point in time, what do you have to lose? Got 53 seconds left in this third quarter. 15 minutes left in the fourth. Need 8 consecutive goals.
Rodriguez again, trying to collect his Perez. Down. Nothing doing as Flores hit the deck. He's on his back. Huffman leaving it square to Neal. He'll chip it to Gerson. In front.
Nothing doing there.
Huffman
No, nothing doing there.
is appealing.
Nothing doing there either. Ellis trips up, but again, just letting that go is fine.
Yeah, Kevin Ellis does have the brace. He got credit, so it was not touched. It went in the net directly.
And they'll give Gibson the assist, so that adds another one to his points.
And that is the end of the third quarter, and what a quarter it was for Kansas City here on the road, going up by 3 goals. Goals from Grant and 2 from Ellis. That's the difference as we go into the fourth right after this. We are back here in Kissimmee. Orlando trailing 6-3 against Kansas City. They came in 11-10 to clinch the second spot in the South Central Division. Orlando 8-12. Needed a win tonight to keep their hopes alive. Should everything have went good today, if they'd gotten the goal differential and a victory against Kansas City, there was a potential that Kansas City would lose out, go 11-13. Orlando possibly could finish 11-13, but then would have the win by 5 goals to have the head-to-head goal differential. That said, it's a tall order. I mean, that's grasping at straws.
Right, and this past weekend.
So it was, in theory, still possible if they lost this. Or not this one, but if they lost a game, say, to Milwaukee.
Right.
But
this game
this will put it dead to rights if they this score holds.
And now bodies are flying all over the place.
See, Kansas City, I mean, St. Louis is 10-13 right now. And will not be able to catch. So Kansas City will clinch with a win. Because St. Louis has just one to play. So they would need Kansas City to lose out. So they are rooting for Orlando and St. Louis tonight.
I will say, though.
Step over from Thiago to the left foot, stumbled a bit. In the back post, it's in. Rojas got his. And they've got one back. It is 6-4.
Yeah, that's exactly what you needed to start this quarter out. A quick goal, just over a minute in. Great little step over from Thiago. He stumbled a little bit and managed to get it off. Tidy finish from Ozzy. 22 goals on the season. That's his 30th point. He'd already set a career high a while ago in this season, but still, he's having a banner year himself. It's such a shame, too, because a lot of these players for Orlando have had career years here. It just hasn't meshed together into team performances. And you could ask any of these guys on the team how much individual performances mean to them, and they'll probably say not as much as team performances.
Cuts it to 2. Ozzie now with 22 goals this year. And can they answer once more? They have come back late against Kansas City earlier this season on the road. That one knocked. How did that stay out from Naka? Hit the top of the bar and bounced straight down and then out.
Way too close.
And that one sent nearly to the upper concourse. Hoffman. Down, it's crunch time now. Under 14 to play in the 4th. Gerson. Third quarter was all Kansas City.
It's
going to turn the tables on here in the area. Good step by Alvarez. Us waiting. And getting out of it. Perez.
Now it's all the way back, and Kansas City gets a chance to reset their press.
Heiner.
Great ball.
There's Neal. Good touch by Lewis on the diagonal. Gerson off the top of the crossbar. Are you kidding? Denying Neal the assist. Oh, what a look.
Perfectly weighted ball through to Gerson as well.
And now have to take a defensive posture. Good job winning it, Rojas. Back to Heiner. House to Lewis Neal. Give fans something here. Give them some belief. Cruz. And stumbling and rumbling is Rodriguez. And the boards. And it's going to be Orlando ball.
Ozzie looks like he took a shot to the face. Again, with this situation, for dead balls at least, you miss Schmerman. Teams usually have to try and overplay him, at least recently, because of all the goals he scored, especially off dead ball situations.
Yowza.
Well, play on. I mean, that was a collision between two. It was a 50-50 ball, but I would have thought the refs may have blown it one way or the other. Interesting. It's going to go out. And yeah, we'll have the top of the arc. We might have a timeout first, though.
11:30 here in the 4th. Orlando up against it here.
We just have an injured player.
Should they win out, Orlando could finish 12-12. 500 would beat Kansas City's 11-13 if they lose out. If they both finish 12-12, Kansas City will have it.
Have to ask a favor of our friends in Lakeland.
Yes,
depending
tomorrow night,
if this game goes the way that Orlando need it to go.
SeaWolves currently 8-12. Gerson and Thiago was met. 11:25 down 2 goals, 6-4.
Well, the question becomes, you know, it's 11, at 10 minutes, do you start thinking about bringing on a sixth attacker to try and start pushing? You're only down 2.
Moda. Gerson all the way across Rojas. Kansas City's been a bit more defensive here in this fourth. You got that 3-goal cushion.
Water just couldn't wrap his foot around that. And
Well, somebody lost
feet,
a shin guard.
We're gonna pick that up.
Yes. Part of these guys have been hitting. Mota went off of Saxby. Oh!
Oh, there's nothing. There's nothing in that. He barely touched him. I get it. It's knocking into the goalkeeper, which, yeah, sure, a foul, but Saxby went down a bit too easy there, didn't he?
Yeah, Gerson getting up a little ginger.
So right off the deflection, and Gerson came in.
Oh.
That hurts a bit. Yeah, it was a bump. I don't think you call a foul there because Saxby had the ball. I mean, there's no benefit in calling the foul there. He was dropping like flies on both ends of the field.
Mota. It's not by Cruz. Taking control there. Gerson.
Just had to wait a little bit too long. Allow the defense to come back and set up their shell.
Mota. Cruz let it fly. Intervention made by Ellis.
Now you got to watch for the break here.
And with the speedy Ramon Palmer.
Thiago's not the one you want back as the last defender either.
They find Flores. Flores was nicked off of Mota. 9:34 to go.
See Heiner yelling at his defense. Try and get them in better positions for those counterattacks. Now we'll have a free kick. Set up a bit of a wall and so they'll lay it off here.
Across. Gibson. Oh, that is going to make it very difficult. So a goal for Kansas City makes it 7-4. And with 9:29 to go.
Flores just sitting on that back post, nobody marking him. Heiner had a good piece of it and just could not keep it out. And you see right there, Heiner just right under his glove. Naka couldn't keep it out with his head, and unlucky.
Down 3 goals again, and time winding short. So options becoming few and far between here for Tom Traxler's men. House will come out with it. And they get a piece of it was Huffman. And the energy out of the building. Huffman hooked inside, continuing to battle. And that went out of play, and now we free kick Orlando. 8:58 to go, 7-4 Kansas City. Alvarez winds. Too many bodies to go through that time.
Debit card and ID. If you lost it, we have it at the merchandise stand. Yes, it's at the merchandise stand.
Huffman. And again, Palmer.
Good breakup now. Go back the other way. Ozzy's sitting down at the bat. Someone making a run. Overload on the
pushed
near
off the
side.
ball. Edmund Rojas.
Heiner can come up a little bit more now that it's the fourth quarter.
To the corner. Oh, Rojas boarded. No blue card coming, but have a restart there from the corner. Mendoza unmarked here on the near side if they can get it through.
Too much of a touch there. Should have left it off for Edwin to just strike it, try and get off a rebound.
Oh, Central. Yoshi.
At some point, you gotta stop trying for a great shot and just go for a good shot. Just try and get shots on goal, because you never know what's going to happen with a deflection if it comes off the wall. Just put them on frame, and you never know where the ball will go. But keeping it on your feet does nothing for you.
Rojas comes free, and really frustrated. Doing everything he can to will this team back in it. It was 3-3 at the half. Ever since, it's Kansas City outscoring Orlando 4-1. Gerson.
It's just too slow buildup. It's too slow buildup, and Kansas City, that plays right into their hands. They love slow buildup because they can take their time pressing.
Lifted long.
I mean, those soft little balls.
3 lines.
Those soft little balls that Orlando's trying to pass through. I mean, it's too easy for Kansas City to step in on those.
7:04 to go. It's Kansas City Comets 7, Orlando SeaWolves 4. And one and done. Heiner.
You see Yoshi is sitting on the side now.
6:51. Down 3 goals.
Yoshi's getting ready to come on as a 6th attacker for Orlando.
Cruz. Rojas. Need 3 goals. Didn't happen that time. Gerson forced the issue, comes back. Heiner will just head it out of play.
Now we'll have a break.
And now we'll have the official fourth quarter break. 7-4 Kansas City with 6:22 to go on MASL TV. Back for the final 6:22. These Orlando SeaWolves, any path to the playoffs required beating Kansas City tonight, preferably by 5 or more goals. Kansas City just needed to win, and it would be done and dusted here in the South Central Division. It will improve should this scoreline hold to 12-10, and nobody will be able to catch them.
So if you're Tom Traxler here, what do you think? What do you tell these guys?
Score quick.
It's the simplest things, you know. Sometimes
There's been a lot of obstacles here in this first year of the Orlando SeaWolves existence. Lots of 6 straight weekends of back-to-back games has worn them out. Number of injuries.
Speaking of obstacles, how about Mark Saxby's play tonight? Just like he was in the last game these two teams played against each other.
Stellar.
He's come up with huge saves. Not as big saves as the other game, mind you, but still big saves nonetheless. Back underway.
And trying to put an end to this one. Gibson. Saxby just 2 saves officially?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go talk to Trevor about that one. He's had a few more.
5:59. And more dissent coming from the bench of the SeaWolves.
Just frustration at this point now. Kansas City, I mean, all they have to do is kill off the game. All right, they're up 3 goals.
And it'll be quite the celebration here, even though they play tomorrow night at RP Funding Arena in Lakeland.
And at that point, if this result holds, neither team will have much to play for.
Well, pride, of course, is the magic word, the optimal word. Oh, and in behind and a shot over the target. That would have done it. That would have been finished as Brian Perez sent it high and far.
And here comes
high.
Yoshi.
So now it's going to be a 6th attacker. Probably the rest of the way here. Down 3 goals, 7-4, 5:41 to go. Cruz has it. Trying to patiently find some sort of an opening, but those openings have been few and far between tonight. As the Comets defense has been up to the task, only allowing 4 goals thus far. Cruz to Tiago, gets a step into the corner, it goes. And no, draw a free kick.
Yeah. Tiago's just staring up and then giving a nice little laugh.
Want to give our best to Victor France, who had his ACL surgery, I believe, yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday at like 7 a.m. over at Florida Hospital. Was up on social media afterwards saying he's fine, you know, procedure went well, and he's healing well as well.
If you're watching, Zay, we wish you the best. Hope to see you back here next year. Goal for the SeaWolves. Gerson's got his brace, and a lifeline now for Orlando. Down 2 goals, 7-5.
It's again just those loose balls in the box. Just put something on, hope it takes a nice little deflection, and just be Johnny on the spot for it.
Well, you want to reward the fans here, at least go down fighting. And Gerson has made that happen. 7-5, 2-goal cushion in the MASL. Almost 5 minutes is plenty to score 2, but remember, at the end of the 4th, yeah, it changes it a little bit.
Crazy things can happen.
Heiner back out there now that it's cushions 2 with some time to work with. Well, getting that first one is so crucial. And now turned over. Boy, Gibson was looking to pounce.
Too close.
Oh, vital win there. Unable to get it was Tiago.
Yoshi may have to use his hands a little bit later.
Gordy circles around. Alvarez comes on. Thiago. Everybody on the attacking half. Cruz. Back to Thiago. For the header is Huffman. Open goal on the other side. Win the first ball, and Yoshi able to do that. Back to Saxby. He's going to call a timeout with 3:37. Hey, you've got a playoff clinching victory in hand should you just hold the scoreline. Now you're watching the Orlando SeaWolves on MESLsoccer.com. Catch the most exciting live arena soccer action and archives of every MESL game each week on MESL TV. Don't forget to catch the latest news on your favorite teams, no matter who they happen to be. Follow the MASL Soccer account on Facebook and Instagram at MASL Arena. That's what you want to go for on Twitter.
And of course, follow the Orlando SeaWolves on
MCO
social media.
SeaWolves.
MCO SeaWolves on Twitter, Orlando SeaWolves on Facebook and Instagram. You can see some of the content the team produces. And
you've done some fun stuff this year,
yeah,
right?
we have done some fun stuff.
Some food challenges, some
hopefully next week
food.
next week we'll be doing some Brazilian food.
Ah,
Yeah.
at Boy Brazil, perhaps?
Indeed.
There we go, a little
It won't just be any churrascaria as well. We'll have some like candy, a little
oh, you got to
little
go
drinks as well.
You got to go with the picanha on the meat, but you got to go with the cheese breads,
Yep.
right? Those things are awesome.
And stay away from the salad.
Save away from the salad bar. That's famous words from Tom Traxler the last time we were at a place like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
You're not paying
it's
for
a
the
steakhouse.
salad, Jeff.
You're right. They make it free so that you'll fill up on the salad and you don't eat the steak.
Yes. Well, Orlando looking to get their fill of the last 3:37, trying to salvage any semblance of a chance to have something to play for here down the stretch.
Bit of a karate kick from Luis Mota, and I think they'll get him for that one.
No mercy. Fear does not exist in this dojo. 3:30 to go. Jeff Radcliffe, Austin David, and our Gemstone crew.
Take a nice look at that yellow Astro Division ball from Miter.
And win or lose, Orlando will have 2 more home games here to close out the season. So after going to Milwaukee on Sunday, they'll come back to play Utica, the playoff-bound team, and close against Florida in the I-4 derby. Now here's Johnny. Nick down.
And a blue card.
And the blue card's coming. So 3:02 to go. Got to get this settled out first. So we've got the lifeline from the goal from Gerson, and now a blue card.
Leo Gibson, yeah, he's making the trek. No, he's not. Who was it? Togba again. That's the second blue card.
Second blue. So he's in for 2. They'll come out with 1:02 to go.
Togba's still out there. He doesn't want to go in the box. I wouldn't either.
Orlando accustomed to coming back and winning in dramatic fashion this season, multiple occasions. And Kansas City's been the victim one of those times.
After a scoreless first half in Kansas City, Richard Schmerman hat trick. And a Bobby Hurwitz goal at the end of it sealed it, 1-2. Unfortunately, you're without Richard Schmerman tonight, and this would be a
great top 5 for him, huh?
Would have been an ideal situation. Let's see what Mario Alvarez, the other blonde, can do.
It's a 6-4 win at Kansas City on March 8th.
get the shot off.
You really have 6-on-4 right now with Yoshi, the 6th attacker on.
You got Mario sitting against the back wall there. If you can get it to him, create some space, or just passing it. It's a good shot
lull
from
him to
Kansas City.
sleep. Cruz, here goes to Mario Alvarez.
Problem is you don't have time. You don't have time to lull him to sleep. You just got to go.
Tiago to Gerson along the boards, swing and a miss. 2:27 to go in the game, 123 in the power play. Good job by Yoshi to poke it away.
Hit it.
Alvarez to
No.
Huffman, that one sails high. 113 in the power play.
It would have been a different story if Mario had hit it while having control of the ball, but when it's coming back to you like that, you lose a little bit of power because you're hitting against the ball.
Come on, SeaWolves fans.
Oh, this is trouble here of Gibson. We'll cut it back. And disrupted. Coming back was Huffman.
Oh,
1 minute to go in the power play.
Tiago had looked up. Gordy had a bit of an angle going forward.
Tiago, a little too much of that one. And 46 left on that penalty. 148 in the game. Conventional wisdom says you got to at least get the one here on the power play.
Well, you know, with 3 seconds left in the power play, like
Kansas
City did to Orlando. Once those clock hits 000s, then the power play is over. But
Saxby to restart. Oh, they're just going to waste some time.
this way Saxby can throw it long. He's got a really great arm, does Saxby, as well.
Cruz.
You got to look up. Alvarez is on the other side. Play it down the line for him.
Oh, this is good defense by Kansas City to make sure they're not getting out easy.
And again, it's a man advantage, too. Orlando's playing up a man, up 2. And yet still Kansas City is pressing them high and forcing them into mistakes.
Well, they've killed off 1 penalty tonight, 24 seconds away from doing the second. Oh, and a yellow.
Yellow for Huffman. Huh.
So now he's off.
Well, that's the game for him, unfortunately. Well, I hate to say it, but I think Derek has just tied his career high in penalty minutes now. And it's, well, he's played, this is his 7th game. Last season, he played 20.
Wow.
And that was his
Well, he's
career
gotten
high.
his money's worth.
You could say that.
Yeah.
He's also, spent some money on it, I guess.
122 left in the game. Now 18 seconds left in the power play. Good work by Kansas City. Just keep possession. Yoshi in the box, grabs it. A throw in almost like you'd see in the outdoor game. Good technique. 4 seconds left in the power play. And they've killed it off. It's now 6-on-5, the 6th attacker. 55 seconds left to go in the game.
Holding on a little bit. That's a foul.
48 seconds left. Sandoval couldn't keep control. 41.
Start shooting the ball here.
Wasn't going to get it done, and now.
Well, I mean, Orlando's
that lady's starting to sing.
They're trying to pick out that top corner, and at some points you just try and shoot it low, hope for a good deflection. And I get it. If it takes the wrong deflection and it hits out, they're on the break going the other way. But there's 37 seconds left. You got to take some risks.
Chuck Long. 35 seconds. '27. We need 2 goals. Just going to lump it down there and hope. Gerson's calling for it. Please get it down to me. Sandoval couldn't get a shot off. Cruz may be able to. Nice turn, keeping it alive. Tiago, back post, and it's a goal. Gerson's got the hat trick, but just 6.3 left. It is 7-6. So what do you got in store now?
I don't know if they have enough time to score. I don't know if there's enough time to actually get into a scoring position. 6.3 seconds.
And how do you not mark Gerson on the back?
I think that was Alvarez, and I think that was actually turned in by Rodriguez. But because there's no own goals, the goal will be credited to Tiago.
So no hat trick for Gerson.
Well, they'll give it to Mario. I don't agree with that, but okay.
No, we'll give it to him.
He was the nearest player, but he wasn't the last one to
Sorry
touch
about
it.
that, Mario. Thought that it's right. You share hairstyles. That's what happens.
It is what happens.
So now it makes sense. You wouldn't leave Gerson alone, but Alvarez has his 9th goal of the year. .3, and each team trying to deal with the situation here to close it out. The first thing you got to do is get possession if you're Orlando, and then you just got to hope. See Heiner. I think he'll be seeing the field the rest of this one. Unless there's some sort of a miracle goal that puts it into overtime.
Crazier things have happened. I think I said that earlier, but all it takes is one unlucky deflection. I mean, that ball just now, you know, it was on frame, but just turned in.
Alvarez's goal has given...
We've seen some crazy goals, by the way. We've seen goals go off the backs of players, so you never know.
And 6-5, and the long ball the other end. 2, and over the what goes over. You can just
1.4.
1.4 and just hit it as hard as you can. Yeah, the worst part is they were kicking off. That's going to eat time. So it's going to start back there. You're just going to have to hit it. 1.4, yeah.
Scoring so late.
The biggest foot you can get into it. Lifted, time expires, and that's it. So Kansas City is heading to the playoffs as they get the 7-6 road victory against the Orlando SeaWolves. They are able to see it out. And Kim Rotved's team able to come away with a 12th victory of the season against the SeaWolves, who have their 13th loss against 8 wins.
It was a valiant effort. You see the two coaches embracing there at the end. Unfortunate for Orlando.
The comeback falls short, 7-6 the final. Thanks so much for joining us. For Austin, David, my partner, our producer, Indy Rosen, our director, John Doherty, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long. Thanks for watching this Gemstone production of MASL Soccer. Comets win it, 7-6. Good night.